reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee. Grief and anguish came over him, and he said to them, "The sorrow in my heart is so great that it almost crushes me. Stay here and keep watch with me." He went a little further on, threw himself face downward on the ground, and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, take this cup of suffering from me. Yet not what I want, but what you want." Then he returned to the three disciples and found them asleep. And he said to Peter, "How is it that you three were not able to keep watch with me for even 1 hour? Keep watch and pray that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." Once more Jesus went away and prayed, "My Father, if this cup of suffering cannot be taken away unless I drink it, your will be done." He returned once more and found the disciples asleep. They could not keep their eyes open. Again Jesus left them, went away, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to the Lord Jesus Christ.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. My dear brothers and sisters in our Lord Jesus Christ. First, a few comments on the readings, which are specially chosen to be connected with the theme, and then the regular homily. The first reading is taken from Romans 12, 1-2, just 3 verses. Tells us about the duty of a Christian. And St. Paul says very meaningfully, "Do not conform yourself to this age, but discern what is the will of God, what is good and pleasing and perfect." Beautiful words. Discern. Discern means to discover. Not what is convenient, not the easy way, not the imperfect way, but God's way. Coming to the gospel, it seems strange. We have a gospel telling from the Passion, the agony in the garden. All of us know this because on Holy Week we enact this often, the agony in the garden, where Jesus took Peter, James and John and he told them, as you heard, "Sit a while, I'm going to pray." And all 3 of them fall asleep. And what does Jesus say? "My soul is sorrowful unto death. Remain and watch with me." As the Gospel says, he advanced and fell prostrate in prayer. If you go to St. Luke gives a little different insight. He says he was in such an agony and prayed so fervently that his sweat became like drops of blood and fell to the ground. You may think this is an exaggeration, but when a man goes to an extreme trauma, some of his arteries perforate and blood oozes out. That's what happened to Jesus. And so he prays to the Father, "Take this chalice away. I don't want this chalice. I don't want this suffering. I don't want to die at 33. Yet not what I will, but as you will. Why is this text chosen for today when we are celebrating the feast of the infant Jesus, at least the eve? Today is the eve. Because if you want to follow Jesus really, you will have to suffer. There is no other way. If there was another way, Jesus would have chosen it. So what I've shared with you will be a backdrop for what I have to tell you now, what we were given to base ourselves on. That is from the Pope's encyclical, apostolic exhortation, Evangelii Gaudium, the joy of the gospel. From what I have culled or what I have picked up, I'll share with you briefly, and then some reflections. What struck me very strongly was we are called to the way of beauty. In Latin it is via pulchritudinis, way of beauty. Following Christ is not only right and true, but also beautiful. We forget that sometimes. It's capable of filling life with new splendor, profound joy, even in the midst of difficulties. Every expression of true beauty is a path leading to an encounter with the Lord Jesus. Encounter. There is an inseparable bond between truth, goodness and beauty. In our own Indian culture we have Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. I suppose you understand. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, that's God. This means fostering a renewed esteem for beauty as a means of touching the human heart and enabling the truth and goodness of the risen Christ to radiate within it. We must be bold enough to discover new signs and new symbols to embody and communicate the word, and different forms of beauty which are valued in other cultural settings, even unconventional ones. In that light, our rejection of the evils which endanger life will be better understood. We should appear as joyful messengers and not dour judges. In a culture paradoxically suffering from anonymity, this also struck me and I'm sharing it with you. It's from the exhortation. Anonymity. Anonymity is a big word which comes, the main part of the word is onoma. In Greek it means name. So no name. I don't have any name. I hide behind no name. Anonymity. Featureless, no features. Without character. Characterless. Don't disclose who you are, but criticize destructively from behind. Spoil people's name. That's what is being referred to. Pope Francis is very strong. I like Pope Francis. He's our own Jesuit. One and only Jesuit to become Pope, and I don't think he will get a second. That's an aside. So, anonymity. This is the culture we are in. Don't disclose who you are. Do damage, do evil, but hide behind so that you are not known. And at the same time, we are obsessed with the details of other people's lives. This is Pope Francis, shamelessly given to morbid curiosity. We want to know everything what is happening to other people and the worst part of their lives, not the good part. The church must look more sympathetically at others. Sympathetically again, sympathos is also Greek. To suffer with. Sympathetically. at others and make present the fragrance of Christ's closeness and personal grace. Ladies will understand the word fragrance. When you have a powerful scent, the fragrance goes out. We have to have that fragrance which comes from our closeness to Jesus Christ. Not close to Jesus Christ, you won't have any fragrance. The gospel tells us to correct others. This is another important point. And to help them to grow by showing them the evil of their actions. Matthew 18:15. Your brother does something wrong, your sister does something wrong, go and talk to him or her. But that correction has to be done out of love. So showing them the evil of their actions. Not that one-up attitude, no. But without making judgments about their responsibility and culpability. Oh, you should have done this. You shouldn't have done that. No judgments. Non-judgmental. That's not easy. That's not easy. Most often we are judgmental. All of us, including myself. Then again, the sacred scriptures are the very source of evangelization. This was taken from the document. The sacred scriptures. God's word listened to and celebrated, especially in the Eucharist. That's why the Eucharist we have 2 readings, sometimes 3 readings. That's the word of God. Because the word of God nourishes us and strengthens us just as the Eucharist. And of course, it climaxes in the reception of the sacraments. Therefore, study of the sacred scriptures is vital. I don't have to go into this, but you go to the St. Andrew's Church, every single, I don't like to call them Protestants, they are Christians. They have their little Bible, or their prayer book, Upasana Sangit. And that all the prayers are there, every readings are there, songs are there. But they cherish that and they read. So we have to have this familiarity with God's word. Okay, if you forget all that I've said, it's all right. But one thing don't forget, and that I'm going to tell you. We are called to give witness to the gospel. For most people, the only gospel they read is you, wherever you are. At home, in the workplace, neighborhood, building, wherever. So we are called to give witness to the gospel and to Jesus Christ. Not a sour, sad witness, but a joyful one, as was mentioned. Let's not go around with undertakers' faces. No, sometimes you see some Christians looking so kind of downcast, like those 2 disciples, whom Jesus met on the way. So what's happened to you all? Why are you so sad? Why so downcast? What has happened? And they tell him, don't you know what has happened? You are the only stranger here in Jerusalem. You don't know what has happened. Jesus of Nazareth, they killed him, and they said that he would rise, but now 3 days have passed and nothing has happened. But Jesus lovingly tells them, the whole scriptures, was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer and enter into his glory? Then he explains to them the scriptures. 11 kilometers, it was dark. And then they recognize Jesus in the breaking of bread and he disappears. And they go back those 11 kilometers because they met Jesus. And you can imagine what kind of faces they would have had. Joyful is an understatement. So we should be joyful. We should have joyful faces. Not that I know, for instance, I was sharing with the cold, terrible cold these days. You can't go around, smiling the whole time. But a joyful face that draws people to you and draws people to Christ. Three Sundays ago, the first reading, the last sentence was from Nehemiah 8:2-6. Do not be grieved. Do not be sad. For the joy of the Lord is our strength. The joy of the Lord. I mean, that's very powerful. Not other joys, Not that other joys are bad, no way. But the real joy that gives us strength is the joy of the Lord. And that's what we are come here for, my dear brothers and sisters. Before leaving, as they say in Marathi, Zata Zata Don Shabda. Quite some years ago, I had come to the shrine. And come to the shrine means Father Banyan was the chaplain and I was on leave from school. So he asked me whether I can come here for 3 weeks and be acting chaplain. And I said yes. That time the office was on top. Senior people will remember from Nasik. And I was there in the office and 1 o'clock was lunchtime. I was getting ready to go for lunch. And a young man comes up, maybe 25, 26 years old. Father, you're going for lunch? I said yes. But you want to talk? Sit. He said, Father, I want to tell you something. I got into very bad company. Drinking, smoking, gambling, womanizing. And I was desperate. And I came here. Sorry. And he saved me. He saved me. And here's 1,500 rupees of my salary. 1,500. Because he saved me. And every month I will send you 1/10 of my salary because he saved me. And then he said another thing. He said, now many young ladies are after me, but I don't encourage anyone. I'm waiting for him to show me the right one. And I gave him a blessing. I said, you have found Jesus. He said, Father, I'm on night shift now. I'm going back to Bombay. Obviously, Jesus has blessed him. Another true story. I was here and I had finished my posting here. I was transferred to Holy Cross. And at 12 o'clock Mass on Sunday is the main Mass. And so I took the Mass and I was standing out and two ladies, middle age, 40, between 40 to 45, two sisters. They said, Father, we want to talk to you. I said, yeah, what happened? Father, the younger one had terminal uterine cancer, terminal. Doctor said, sorry, we can't do anything, please go. And we came here and prayed. And he promised the infant Jesus that if she gets all right, we are going to give 2 rings, 1 gold and 1 silver. Here it is. Because I gave the ring to the chaplain. She was cured. And the last one, which happened very recently, because it happened recently, I'm going to tell you, because there are a number of incidents, but I don't want to go into that. I came from Vasai, from Manikpur. So when I was there, before coming here, there was a lady. She was close to me. She used to come to church often and make a confession. She said, Father, I want to talk to you. I said, what happened? Father, for 5 years, I'm married and I've got no child. And my in-laws are taunting me. Maka munta, 5 वर्षा झाली, कितले होगोत? Kitle hogot? I said, go to infant Jesus. So when I went back, decent, huh? I went back from far. Father. Oh, that lady. Father, I'm expecting. I could have given a hug, but I was careful. I only shook hands. These are real stories. Not by way of, how to say, as they say in Hindi or Marathi, Trupta Dan Mahapunya. Asं hot nahi. I give God something and He gives. Not like that. But you really pray with faith, He gives. I want to wish all of you a happy feast as you have come here. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you.